What's up, guys? Time to show off a new build. This is a new Great White, and this one is a little, I don't want to say harder to read, but it's a little bit more ghosted on, and it just depends on what angle you get, because if you're looking at it straight on, you can tell that it's in there, but it's until you kick it to the side that you can really see detail. Was I hitting it with the wrong hand here? A little bit more color on the bezel insert, but you get that color around some of the lower edges of the dial. So it actually, when they were sitting beside each other, when this was lasered out, it transitioned a little bit more into that. That's just the missing metal that goes in between. Because we do this as one big piece, laser everything out, laser the border out on that, laser the border out on the dial, and then you've got a piece of metal in between both, so that you're just doing, you're not wasting potential dials and not wasting potential bezel inserts. You just do it all at the same time. So Great White Shark dial, did a set of black Vostok 24 hands with a long loom seconds hand. Did this in a 160 brushed case, and then I didn't have really any good anchor crowns that I liked, so I thought, what could be cooler than just keeping it clean? So I used one of my extra clean milled crowns on here. You can see it's more polished on the side and then milled here. And then I went with a milled caseback. This was a stock caseback that we milled ourselves back out, so I thought that would look a little clean. Did a polished shark tooth bezel, because I thought that that was appropriate. And then did some lug extensions. I like having them kind of pop out the bottom of these cases. I think it looks kind of cool. You can always remove those. You just drop that in and just remove the pin from the side, and you'd reuse those and just attach back here. But it makes for a lot more pliability. When they're going right into the case, the way it's structured in here, it's going to go straight out. It's not going to you know, it will have a little bit of play, but it will kind of hold a little bit truer inside here, so it will kind of bend in this middle point rather than have the full thing flexible. So that gives both the extension for your wrist if you know, you need the holes to line up better. Hopefully they're already lined up with that, but it gives you that possibility. So I did these plenty of times without these on there, so it still works. It's just going to be more like your standard watches that you'll see, where it might look more like this when it bends than actually pivoting off of that hole there. So lasered Great White Shark dial, lasered bezel insert, polished shark tooth, brushed 160 case, classy crown, milled case back, lug extensions, and then on a nice two-piece HT straps band. This gray went really well with this dial, and then since I did black hands, I grabbed the one that had the black in there, and the white kind of went with the loom that was there. So I thought as a whole it looks together, because most of the time you don't see that pop of color. It's only when you get it out that you really see that, and that's very also difficult to capture with the camera, because I get a lot of glare. I don't want like a shot like that, right? So you're trying to get it here. Well, now that's not as bright. Now it's gone, and the angle that I need to get this at is much tougher to get when it's sitting down inside of a box. So a lot easier to do a video and show that off. But that is the build. Bezel on this, I got decently tight. It'll turn left, it'll turn right. These are non-click style bezels. These are, what is the word? Not mono, not uni. I guess bidirectional, right? We'll go two different ways. Bidirectional bezel, non-click style, just tension ring. Automatic mechanical, you've got a rotor in the back here, you just can't see it. You also have a stainless steel movement holder in there. You just can't see it, but they're in there. If you are not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit, and how you do that is you back the crown off the threads until you hear it and feel it clicking. At that point, you wind. And a wind is a turn this way. Turning it towards you doesn't wind it, but it is a lot easier to keep your finger spacing and go back and forth. If you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on, that mixed with your rotor movement will keep your time throughout the day. You just don't want to be so inactive that you are not moving that rotor, which stops your time. So build up a little bit of power reserve on it before you put it on. If you do it for another 10 seconds or so, you're going to max out your 31-hour power reserve. You can't overwind it. You can wind it all day. It just does not accept anything more once its mainspring's fully wound, which is what I do. Because I set them down overnight, make sure they're running the next day, keeping perfect time, etc., etc., etc. So when you're good with your winding, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. And I just cut my fingernails off. There we go. I was like, why am I not grabbing this? So at that point, you can see you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement. So it'll go up and down, left and right. So if you don't like it, just pull it just a little bit and you won't even really notice it. Okay, Google, what time is it? 11:13 a.m. So when you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. And that is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. This one's going to come in a black 3D printed treasure box. You've got magnets in here that will stop it. Now when it's back here, if you give it a little touch, it's going to come right off because all the weight of that box is just on 2 little magnets, whereas when it's here, it's on 4 magnets. 2 here and 2 here, and when it's here, it's on 6 magnets. You can see them in the side. All the weight holds a lot better once it's up there. So don't be surprised if you can't get it to stay here. It will stay there unless you touch it just a little bit. It'll stay there much easier with 4 magnets on there. But 3D printed black treasure box. It's going to come with watch cleaner. This is a foamer. Good on all glass and metal, so everything here in the center. Non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue. It's also going to come with a microfiber for that. You also get leather conditioner to keep this strap perfectly soft. It's going to apply it on the front and the back of the strap. If you ever feel that it's not as pliable, let it soak in, remove any excess using not a microfiber, a rag or something along those lines. And then lastly, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon, just repackaged. It's for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. But if you do, no big deal. Put a tiny bit of this on it and use your included and matching microfiber to buff it out. So if it's up and down, go left and right, fill that scratch, haze it, buff it out, see if it's still there. If it is, wait a little bit and revisit it. You want to make sure that you are not removing what you just put in. So let it cure and then continue to build that acrylic backup that you took out of there, essentially. So that's the build. If it's going to you, I appreciate you a ton. Hope you love it. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.